Here are some reasons why I cannot go to war. The first one is I need infills on my lashes every 2 weeks. And I don't think my lash tech is going to be lashing in the trenches. Reason 2 is that I need my iced coffee in the mornings and my collagen in the iced coffee because I'm not letting my skin go wrinkly just for some beef that I didn't even want to get involved in. Number 3, I value my sleep. I need a decent night's sleep and I am not a morning person. So if I'm told, stand up straight, do this, do that. No, sorry, I'm not doing it. Because I need at least half hour to scroll through TikTok, to have my coffee and to just wake up. And if you shout at me in the morning, I will get violent. The next reason is I don't look good in army green. If there was a pink army, maybe I'd consider it. Following up from that, they're not going to let us bedazzle the pew-pews. Because if I am going to have to fight for this country, I want to be doing it with a bedazzled pew-pew. Pink. My New Year's resolution this year was to not get in drama that doesn't involve me, so count me out, I'm sitting out on this one. I think that all the leaders of the world should just go meet up on a field and just have a scrap and sort it that way. 2026 is the new 2016. 2016, chat shit get banged. We're bringing that back.
Yeah, judging by Gen Z, let's just hope that we have all of our soldiers already because they not going to war for y'all. Gee. Man, I've just seen the craziest things that I've ever seen. Like, they will take the whole platoon with them. Do you understand me? I'm seeing guns getting pointed in directions that's not in the well, that's really pointed at the enemy, if you know what I mean, and then pointed upon thyself. Like, yo, shouts out to Gen Z. I rock with y'all. Y'all are very funny, but very about that.
Guys, welcome back to YouTube channel, and thank you so much, guys, for your support and for the love that you continue to show us. Hello, hope you're doing well. And guys, I don't know whether you have come across this, which we are reporting today in our YouTube channel, whereby we are seeing to what is happening in our today's age, or today's children, how they are reacting to some things. And we are asking ourselves, why do some Gen Zs in the United States of America has been saying like they refuse to go to war? Or if this war erupt to the United States of America to date, would they also literally show up and fight for their country? And is this generation anti-war? That's so many questions that we are asking ourselves. Like, what are they for? Where are they like this? Where are their noise too loud, and they are not like intimidated by anything, by the government, by the social, or by anything. Though we have seen, or we have learned, like, these are the generation which has learned a lot of things from the internet, and they have known things more deeply in a political way compared to the previous generation that has been there. And guys, with this and many more, we'll come back with more commentary. So in that comment section, tell us what you think about this generation after watching these videos that we have played in these channels, and we owe the credit to the owners of these videos. And we are just reacting on this video that has been played, and we are learning more from them. So guys, your work is just you listen, we learn something, comment, share, and like. And kindly, if it's your first time that you have come across this face, my name is Rinjabi, and I'm welcoming you again and again to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you find it like it's a good idea, kindly guys, go on and subscribe to our channels, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, it's really early in the morning that I'm recording this video, so there's a chance that you didn't know that America is now at war with Iran. Over the course of the next couple of weeks and months, they're going to throw out a lot of reasons why this war is completely necessary, but the reality is that this is 100% on the behalf of Israel. The leader of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has been saying that he wants to go to war with Iran for over 20 years, like since before I was born. There's a million and one reasons that they come up with, but the most popular lie is that Iran has nuclear capability and they're using that for missiles to threaten the region with. And that a preemptive strike or a preventative war is the only way to stop them. A preventative strike is just hitting someone that did nothing to you. By the way, ironically enough, Iran actually had a nuclear agreement with the United States that made it so they could never enrich uranium to the point where they could threaten anyone in the region. But Donald Trump, during his first term, took the United States out of it, right? Making this whole situation more unsafe now. And Iran is attacking Americans, right? Like, they're attacking American military bases. So it's not like an Iranian missile is necessarily going to hit the contiguous United States, but there is a very good chance that Americans will pass away from this. The president himself already stated so. And my question is why? Like, why are we willing to throw away our children for the nation of Israel? And trust me, this is not any like the Jewish people deserve to be safe. They deserve to be free. They deserve not to be the target of terror attacks. But the country of Israel has broken so many international laws that we rely on to keep us safe and to keep the world based on a rule-based order that no country should ever collaborate with them ever again. Like, they're just that bad. And the United States is slowly becoming more like Israel, just waging war on its regional neighbors just to prove something to the rest of the world. And the scariest part is that I'm taking a risk even saying this on this app because this app is owned by Zionists, right? Like, they want Israel's agenda to be done completely. They want Israel to steal more land in the Middle East for the greater Israel project, right? It's the biblical prophecy. So all I'm going to say is this: say no to war. Say no to war, right?
I get called, or if I know the draft is finna start, I'm gonna go ahead and just get strung out on crack. Because they not gonna draft a fucking crackhead. Like, if they don't, like, I really doubt they're gonna draft crackheads. And, like, hear me out. If I go to war, I have a chance of dying, right? And you can't come back from death, but you can come back from being a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? I'll be strung out for 3-4 years, feel me? Like, lose my teeth or whatever, but hey, I'm alive. But if I go to war, motherfucker, I could die. I could die doing crack, but I feel like deep down in my soul, I could not get strung out like that. Like, yeah, I'll be, like, itching and tweaking and shit, but, like, I'll be able to come back and, like, go to rehab and be clean after the war. You feel me? But, like, if I go to war, bro, I'm not gonna come back either taking happy pills or just dead, bro. I'm not doing that. But also, like, if I was in charge of drafting people, I would be drafting crackheads first. Because, like, you could promise them crack, like, every 2 weeks, and they gonna fight their heart out. You feel me? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Those withdrawals, they be willing to do anything for a little bit of a little bit of crack. You feel me? So maybe that is not the best idea. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of the draft now that I'm thinking about it.
Here with us now to react, Gen Z political commentator and Off the Record USA co-founder and CEO, Carson Carpenter. So, Carson, what are Gen Z conservatives thinking about the prospects of war with Iran?
They're not happy about it, Matt. They don't want war with Iran at all. They want a peaceful country. They want an America only, an America first country. They want to see our country actually be putting ourselves at the forefront and not just becoming a police force across the world like we saw during the mid-2000s. And the key difference between now and back then is that won't play with public opinion. I think the Trump administration knows that. I think that we cannot have another endless war in the Middle East because of what history had taught us there. And I believe John Kirikow said over the weekend that we are planning a strike against Iran today or tomorrow before the State of the Union, and officials were probably saying that in the administration because they thought that might play well with public opinion, but Gen Z and people that are my age do not want to see this. It is a total last resort.
I wonder why. I mean, I'm a geriatric millennial. I was standing in my college student union when the Twin Towers fell, and so most of my adult life has been in observance of these forever wars, and my own friends coming back with all kind of ailments on the inside and out for very unknowable gain. But I think about, someone, who's your age, you probably don't have the same connection to 9/11 and those moments. And so what do you think drives the anti-war energy with Gen Z conservatives?
I think the anti-war energy is a lot of people on the left wouldn't even know how to go fight overseas in a war. They wouldn't even have the gall to go do something that selfless for themselves. And then a lot of the younger conservative right just see our country as a shining beacon on the hill, you know, in a way that Reagan put it, where we should actually focus on domestic issues, right? We should focus on affordability for younger people. I'm paying an exorbitant amount for rent per month just to live in a place that's barely able to have services for ourselves. And a lot of younger people like me have the same mentality as those people in the 1920s. They're just in the roaring 20s. They want to work hard. They want to be able to have a family. They want to be able to put food on the table, but they're aspiring to do something better for their generation. And I think that's what our generation wants. And this would be a setback. If we had to go fight in the Middle East, if we had to go fight in a war across the world, it would set back our generation like it did for the millennial generation with 9/11. It set back their economic prosperity. It set back their educational prosperity, because you look at the economy in the late mid 2000s, it was pretty bad with the Great Recession. So I think our generation wants to use the example of the past to not let it dictate our future.
It's really interesting that you lace your criticism of an Iran strike in the opportunity cost, right? You didn't like get into the benefits or drawbacks of striking Iran so much as a Gen Z voter. You look at it and say, well, gosh, like, why is that getting the attention, and the things that really impact my life aren't getting a sufficient amount of attention? And I wonder how much that played into Trump's victory in 2024. You know, President Trump had so much support among voters under the age of 30. Do you think the anti-war message was a critical component of that at the time?
Absolutely. He wanted to model himself as the peace president, and I think he's actually done a really good job with that. The left likes to paint him with the capture of Maduro and strikes on some of these other countries as not being peaceful. But in fact, if you are the strongest military in the world, you have to hold peace around the world. You can't just let all these uprisings and chaotic things happen. So I think Trump has done a very good job at maintaining himself as the peace president. And that's where people get the messaging wrong. They don't necessarily see where Trump is coming from with these victories of the capture of Maduro, with the actual midnight hammer in Iran the first time. I think if we're going to see a strike on Iran, it will be in that same way of getting in and getting out and maintaining peace across the world.
That is Trump's MO. He doesn't want to be like the homeowners association of Caracas or Tehran, but there does seem to be this extraction theory that in Venezuela so far is held, but I would caution against believing that what can happen in the Americas is somehow possible in the sands of Persia or Arabia. We have far less ability to dictate outcomes there if we look back at recent history. Final question for you. President Trump is going to be delivering the State of the Union tomorrow. What do you want to hear him say?
I want him to have an America-only message, not an America-first message, because when you say America first, it means you're willing to compromise for your own country. You're willing to compromise with other countries to not necessarily get the best outcome when you go into the negotiating table. You're willing to sell off 25, 50% of what you want to actually give up during those meetings. So I want President Trump to come out hard, come out quick. If there's anyone that starts standing up and yelling against him, he needs to strike that down immediately, kick them out of the chamber, and he needs to deliver an America first, but more importantly, an America only message, because Trump, when he walks into the negotiating room, he needs to only have America on his mind. He shouldn't compromise for any other country at this rate, because if it is truly the golden age, we have to act like it's the golden age. We have to have the moxie of it's the golden age, and I expect the president to do that tomorrow.
Carson Carpenter, the founder and CEO of Off the Record USA, thanks so much for joining me and sharing your viewpoint.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Some even saying, hey, we'd rather go to prison for 5 years, get free food, have our clothing taken care of, rather than being shot at in a war zone. Watch this, Gen Zer.
So 5 years of rent-free living, free food, and no responsibilities versus being immediately obliterated by an AK-47 the moment I set foot on that battlefield. Do I look like somebody who the authorities are going to be chasing after, hunting down because they need me? They need me to grab an assault weapon and go try to like save people's lives? Are you kidding me? Talk about a liability. Go find those people who are so like pro Second Amendment and wear like freaking American flag thongs and all that. Like, go find them. They have a concealed carry anyway. They know what they're doing. They've done the classes. You don't want me fighting for this country. I promise you that. And you know it's true.
Okay, those people who are pro Second Amendment and wear MAGA hats didn't vote for Joe Biden.
So the U.S. has definitely committed war crimes in Iran already. I can't get on here and dunk on Russia for doing it and not dunk on the U.S. for doing it. Also, I am a fair man. The U.S. did strike a school which killed a lot of Iranian children. The U.S. bombed a carrier and did not offer aid to the people in the ocean, which is a clear violation of maritime law. Not only that, there are reports, according to John Kiriakou, show that the United States is striking civilian infrastructure and also double tapping. All of these are war crimes that the United States is committing, frankly, and should be held accountable. Like, I really hope to see Pete Hegseth in a war tribunal to answer for these crimes, because we are a nation of laws and we are a world of laws. You should not be able to do this and get away with it. And I personally am willing to hang my vote on someone who will charge them. Or maybe I'll just run in 40 years and do it myself. But I would like to see everyone involved to authorize these strikes, from Pete Hegseth down to the drone operator who hit the button. All of them tried, and I would like a thorough investigation done, because we are a nation of laws and we cannot commit war crimes in Iran while shilling out on Russia for doing the same thing. This is shameful behavior on behalf of the United States, and I know my voice isn't really going to change anything, but frankly, I really hope to see all of these people in a tribunal to face justice and actually be investigated for what has occurred.
The next generation of children is preparing to die in another senseless war. I remember every bad thing that has happened to our country since I was a child. I remember the first war starting. I remember all the horrible things that happened after that war, the things we are still living with today, and another war has started. I have an 8-year-old. What does his future look like when all we do is go to war? We don't even put money into education. We don't put money into technology. Only thing we're pushing is AI, so that you can stop paying people minimum wage. What does this country look like for the next generation? Because our generation, I don't want to say we're fucked, but we're definitely not in the best space. We are just fighting another white man's war, another pointless war. People are dying. People are going to continue to die because you keep electing the wrong people who do not give a single fuck about us.
This entire war has been a distraction this entire time. They have everyone looking over here and they are doing something completely different over here. The people that are actually paying attention are going to make millions of dollars. The unfortunate truth of the situation is that millionaires and wealth is made during wartime, during chaos, during panic. 99% of people are completely distracted and unaware of what is about to happen. But there is 1%, a small 1% of people that are actually paying attention to what the elites are doing. The infamous Nancy Pelosi back in the news for alleged insider trading. This is what we need to be paying attention to. This leaked Reddit article has predicted everything to a T so far. War will break out between Israel and Iran in late February. The United States will enter the war and tensions will escalate. Oil prices will surge to $75. We literally just saw happen within a few days, and it is not stopping anytime soon. It is now up to $91, which is absolutely insane. Conflict will escalate and get worse on March 13th, which just happens to be Friday the 13th. What the Circling back, it says insider traders will get rich buying AOR, the American Oil Reserve crypto coin, before the second half starts on March 13th. Just study Nancy Pelosi. It's that simple. Did some digging, searched up AOR, the American Oil Reserve, and saw that the second largest holder of this coin happens to be a wallet called Nancy Pelosi. Right now, there's almost 5,000 people holding this thing, which seems like people are starting to catch on early. If you want to check it out, you can go on to Phantom, or you can use FOMO and use this right here. Search up AOR, the American Oil Reserve, and it is at this market cap right now. Of course, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research, but if all of these rumors come true, this thing could go absolutely insane.
So this chick, man, she decided to join the military or the Army because they offered her cash. They offered her money up front. Well, I ain't gonna say cash, but they offered her a nice little bag. So she's online spreading all of her money out, the $100 bills and all that stuff. And she's happy. She got all this money. She got a bright career ahead of her. And I commend young people who, you know what I'm saying, have a young, bright career ahead of them, and they can do it at a young age. But the problem is when this girl got the money and started fanning all them $100 bills out online, she didn't realize her duties. Like most young people don't realize when the Army offers you all that money, they're actually paying for your services. They're paying for your inconvenience, for you to leave the city and state that you live in, to leave your family and your loved ones behind. She didn't realize that they were paying for her services. And her services meant that when a war jumps off, you're going to get drafted. You're a part of the Army. You work for the government. And you can't back out of it. Because if you back out of it, you face charges in the Army's court system. Which means the Army has prisons. For you who didn't know, the Army has jails for their own people. They have prisons for their own people. They're separated from the regular prisons and jails that's in our cities and states. She didn't realize that she would have to eventually go to war. Now she's crying. She wants out of it now. She's already spent the money, but that's not how it works. So now she's stuck. You got to pay your debt to society or to the Army society. This is what happened when so many young people, they get offered this money to join the Army and stuff. They don't realize what the duties really consist of. Now she's stuck and looking crazy. I don't feel bad for this young lady because her mom or her dad, somebody should have guided her in the right direction and let her know this is what comes with this when you accept this money right here. So she wasn't bribed or anything. What she did not do was pay attention to the fine print. So now she's stuck, and she most likely has to go to war if there is an all-out war. Now, there's a war going on in Iran, but that's not an all-out war. An all-out war meaning like a worldwide war. A worldwide war that involves the United States on United States soil. So now she's stuck. So next time the Army offer y'all little young butts a bunch of money, y'all better read the fine print, because you could be signing your life away, man. Thanks for watching.
Dog, we are the most unserious generation of mankind. Bro, like I'm scrolling on TikTok and all I'm seeing is WW3 TikToks of y'all saying, if I'm not getting a car with a dark matter camo, I'm not going. Bro, y'all is hilarious. Bro, we don't take nothing serious. It's y'all making TikToks about war right now. Like, dang, we could get blown up tomorrow. Y'all is clowning on this. Oh my God. Like, bro, we are so unserious, bro. A missile could fly right in our face, and we gonna say cameraman never died. We would sit there and deadass watch the missile hit us and jokes to the last day. Like, this don't make no sense, bro. We are so unserious, and that is the most hilarious thing about it.
Here are reasons why I can't and will not go to war. So first of all, I laugh whenever I'm nervous, so if someone gets shot, I'll probably laugh and then people will think I'm a psycho. Secondly, my attention span is like a goldfish, so I'd probably shoot someone on the same team as me. Thirdly, whenever I'm overstimulated, I will get really mad and I'll turn into a different person. Fourth, I'm a picky eater and I am not drinking my own piss if I'm thirsty or I'm dehydrated because I can't drink water. I am not doing that. Last one, I wanted a summer glow up, not a summer blow up. I have a holiday booked to Spain in August and I want to get a summer tan, and I'd rather get sunburned than be burnt by missiles and nuclear bombs, and yeah. Yeah.
I want to assure Gen Z and the younger millennials that there is not going to be a military draft. Let me tell you why. So if you're associated with the military, if you've ever been in, you know that there are a lot of people that get kicked out of basic training, get kicked out of AIT, or get kicked out from their first duty station. And it's because they can't meet some kind of standard. So that could be they can't make body composition, meaning they're overweight, they can't pass a physical fitness test, they can't do their job requirements, or more commonly, some kind of conduct or behavioral issue. Like if you test positive for marijuana and you're a junior soldier, you're getting kicked out. If you are late to formation or don't show up to work consistently, you're getting kicked out. You're insubordinate, you're getting kicked out. And mind you, the people who are getting kicked out and not being able to meet the standards and displaying poor conduct, they are people who joined the military on purpose. They wanted to be there. So how are you possibly going to enforce any kind of standards on people who did not want to be there? You take a 20-year-old kid off the street who'd never wanted to join the military and tell him to run 2 miles in a certain amount of time. You think they're going to do that? You think they have any reason to put forth any effort to do that? You would have to lower the standards of conduct and of fitness to a point that we no longer have an effective military. If there's one thing I know about Gen Z that I both respect and fear, it's that if they don't want to do some shit, they're not going to do it, and they don't care what the consequence is. And that is especially true if it's something that goes against their moral values. So, given who the Secretary of Defense is right now and the kind of image he wants to portray, there is no way that we would be drafting people who did not want to be in the military and still maintaining the standards that he wants to be met. Now, what is more likely to happen, which actually has happened during previous wars, is that if there's a need for a surge of troops, certain recruitment requirements get waived. You can get a waiver for things that otherwise would have excluded you from military service, and that would be like certain medical conditions, criminal offenses that previously would have stopped you from joining. You can get a waiver for that now. But again, those people have a vested interest in meeting the standards because they want to be there. So you don't have to worry about being drafted because it would be so easy to get kicked out if you did. And it's just better for everyone involved if the people who are serving in the military want to be there.
I'm a 10th Mountain Division Infantry Combat Veteran. I served from 02 to 06. I signed up just days after 9/11 for the infantry. I have a question for Gen Z here. Are you ready to die in the Trump-Epstein war when you get drafted, or are you going to fucking deny orders? Because it looks like that's the decision you make. And if you do decide to go and die for Israel and the pedophiles, spoiler alert, you're gonna go over there, a bunch of corporations are gonna get paid as fuck, huge profits they're gonna rake in for destroying the country that you're going to, and then many of the same corporations will double back around and get paid as fuck to rebuild it. While you have friends who aren't around anymore, who are taking their own lives, missing extremities, stuff like that.
Then the Gen Zs came. No work, no play. No rest also. Only depressed. Soft play, soft work. But now these boomers are angry. These boomers want to go at war. They are just like abducting presidents from different countries, dropping right, invading countries. They want a proper war. Who are they going to send to war? These Gen Zs? These Gen Zs cannot go to war. Because if you send these Gen Zs to war, what are they going to do? Hey, I'm so sorry, can I bring my labubu? My labubu and my Stanley Cup. Alright, also I'm only going to work 4 days work week. So wherever the war stop 4 days, I just stop and then I just stand and I'm going to rest. And I need therapy once a week. Right? So Gen Zs don't want to go on war. It's these boomers who are these old men. I think we should just these men's houses. Just kill them one shot.
If y'all thought it was bad in Vietnam when they were throwing grenades into their sergeants' and supervisors' tanks and tents because they did not want to be there, can you imagine what's going to happen if you try to initiate a draft between the 17-year-olds now? My brother's 16. My brother's a single boy. He's not going. He's the last boy left and our mom is dead. You're not taking him. And if y'all try to come get him after my 2025, the recruiter's gonna have to die for it on my front steps. Kick rocks. So, I don't know about y'all. I'm honestly gonna say safe though. More importantly, everybody else that y'all do manage to take, do you think they're gonna sit there and listen to you? These people already didn't want to be in the military regardless. As soon as they hear one of you buffoons that is who really wanted to do this, they're gonna jump y'all. Like, imagine all the kids who really don't want, the guys who really don't want to fight this war and they really end up having to go. They are finna jump y'all in the barracks. They're finna put hands and feet on y'all and ruin the internal trust. America can also not really win this war because Americans don't want to fight this war. Americans, we're lazy right now. We are literally in our lazy phase. More importantly, we don't feel the need for war. We don't. And a lot of us don't really feel connected to this. So the people who are going to fight in this war, It's like he's losing popularity by the day. So the more people you force to bring with you, they're going to be hostile. You will take them alive and kicking. How are you going to get people who are attacking you to willingly fight a war? They're gonna wait till you run in front of them and just shoot you. Like, because I promise you, I would have my own sergeant end account if y'all forced me to go into war. Promise you, I'm 24 now. Don't pick me up. You won't be able to sleep beside me. I promise you on my God at that. You won't rest beside me. You won't think things are sweet. I will not be. No, I'm not signing myself up for no country's military, one, especially not this one. So if y'all try to pick us up, no one is going to fight in the war. You are going to destroy the internal magnets of the military. You're gonna ruin it, especially trying to take this many people who don't want to be there. A draft will not work. There was more propaganda during Vietnam. We can see y'all now. They're not going.
I know every couple of years we always bring up the conversation of World War III, but baby, if that really happens, y'all keep joking and laughing and kicking and cackling. What are we gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do? No.
Yes, as you can see, like this generation or these kids or these children, okay, let me not call them children because they are at a good age to go and fight because at the age. And as you can see, like in the born children age of 1987 to 2012, that's the age whereby many are they were expected to go and join the army and go and do the fight and fight for their nation, fight for maybe for the interests of their country, of the USA. And these guys have just they have refused. They said no to war, and you wonder what are they up to and what do they want? And we can see these children, they have known so much about the politics. They have known the deep things about the politics in our nation globally. They have known a lot because the internet has made things easier. If you want to know something, if you want to know the history, you just go and just access it. These children, they have known a lot and they have learned a lot. These things has been politically, they have been no of help to any person. So they have said they will not participate on making maybe someone rich and maybe someone to go viral and die on the field. So there's so much, maybe they're even fearful to go and die in the field because that's what many of them are complaining, and they are calling out for the government maybe to come up with a negotiation whereby now the two governments will come together and negotiate instead of these wars. They are also opting or looking on how the government will bring more diplomacy or will make the country they will go and negotiate and make things easier. There's no need of this war and all that. And my suggestion was, as I support these Gen Zs and this generation, is you cannot if you get solution to do something, just go ahead and do it and talk, not just go and fight, because the many people who are they suffer in this world are the poor people, their children, their women, and they're these young people. And maybe the Gen Zs have come across it. And by the way, as you can see, this is the generation where it has experienced Afghanistan war and Iraq. Yes, they are the people who were present in that season. They were there and they experienced and they saw it. So they are so much maybe in trauma. They fear something happened and many soldiers, many people died during that war. And they are no, we are not going and we are not buying and we are refusing to go and war because we are fearful. What are we dying for? We should not even die. We are not supposed to die in these wars. There's something that they have also learned, or they have come because their mindset is very different. Their culture is very different compared to the previous generation, whereby now when you are in the army, you are there to make money, and you are there this is my career. But to some and many, they're not for that, because many opportunities have come. There are so many opportunities with these Gen Zs, online jobs and all that. So they're earning when they're even seated. So they don't see any need for them to go and fight, to go to the field, whereby the climate is very harsh, the fear, the traumas and tellers are all over, and they're like, we can even sit down and do our things and earn our money, because we are doing maybe online businesses, online things. So the internet or the technology has made things easier even for this generation. And guys, that has been the problem. It's not even a problem. I will not even call it a problem. I will call it like it's another insight. Like, now government now has to look for another way to fight, rather than going and killing, doing this and releasing these missiles, this bombing and all these. Maybe they come up with another way to fight and to negotiate and to sit down. If they don't agree, they find a way. Maybe that's what the Gen Zs are thinking. Like, if the government can come and sit down and think, maybe, and negotiate. If they don't agree, it is also okay to disagree, whereby now they will reach to a point whereby if you don't agree, it's also okay, it's all right not to agree with you, and we just make policies whereby it will benefit everybody and all parties. And guys, I think this is what the Gen Zs, or they are overlooking on. They just like, they're thinking about if they can sit down and do it. And another thing, they have the distrust about from the government. They have this whereby they don't even trust their own government. Yes, you can see so many scenarios whereby they feel like the government has been promising this and they've been doing this. Because in this war, when this regime of Donald Trump came up, and when he was like doing the campaigns, he promised a lot, whereby like he said like there would be no war in the world. Like, he would be the person who will eradicate the war and the fight and all that. So instead of like going to war, he opted like he'll help, or he'll look after the people maybe who are poor. And this money which has been deployed or has been used in doing all these fight and doing this war, maybe they thought like, if this money would have come and support the taxpayers of dollars in United States of America, and support the education system, support the hospital or medical system, support the young people even to get more job, I think empowering them in another way rather than going to fight in the field would have made a difference. And maybe that is the mindset, or maybe that's the argument. And you can see there, like many of them are saying, I will not go because there's no benefit. And if it's money, sometimes now the money has come like something else. Like, people don't regard money, and they don't even like sell out their maybe their privileges, their freedom, and their happiness, their joy now for money. And you can see like there this girl also we have seen, and he received a lot of money, and little did he know that the money that she was paid prior to the guys. The girl was like, she was afraid, or she's afraid to go to jail, because now you cannot take the money from the government, and the thing or the duties that has been deployed on you that you're supposed to go and fulfill, you have just refused, you just go to jail. And you can see like many Gen Zs are saying, or they're opting like, we can also be jailed. It's okay for us to be jailed if the thing is, or the solution is just to go and fight. There's no difference. And maybe they're saying things differently than what we used to fear, or what the previous generation used to fear. and now they are like they have put the government on tools, and maybe the government failed to realize and to know that there is a big shift in this mindset, in this generation, whereby they failed to run with them. They failed to run and to know that these kids are not the same generation that has been used or has been using. They have been using previously, or they have been intimidating and putting fear on them. This generation are something else. They don't even fear. They will tell you as it is. They don't fear. As long as the justice, as long as whatever they are doing or whatever they're saying is right, they don't have that fear. So guys, that's what I've been thinking, and I don't know what you think about all these scenarios where the Gen Zs in United States of America have said like they not go to war. Although there is another thing that maybe they are thinking, because a lot of Americans, they are against this fight and this war of Iran and the Israel, to go and support the Israel, and they're asking so many questions like how the others are not even there. We don't even see them there, and guys, that has been the conversation in online about this war, and sometimes you get so much insight you did not expect. You were not expecting like to see things happening or seeing or going the way now they are going, or turning how they are turning. So guys, I don't know what you see about this. Where can this generation be corrected, and like they be like systematically be projected back now to what maybe were the values, or maybe the things maybe the nation would love to fight for, because they don't understand the values. Or should they even go back now when they're in class? Would these be values that will be instilled in these children's lives, whereby they'll know that it is also right to go and fight for your nation. It's also right to go and rise and like fight for your people and fight for what you are and what you deserve. And I think like they know very well that this is not the enemy, it is just the interest of few people, and you will not die doing it. So guys, I think now they look at other ways how to address or how to attend on these issues that has been there, even to the countries whereby they will be like avoiding all this war, because like all generation or this generation or this time, this age, the people has known a lot, and the internet has made like everyone to be one, like the globally, like people are one. This generation, they are thinking the same. They have been exposed to so many things. They have seen a lot, and they have learned a lot, and they are so deep. And before now you scoop them now from where they are, guys, it will take much and more time. So I don't know whether they will project or they will bring up another generation with the values and the things that maybe the nations would love these children to carry their nation, what it is, the history. They don't know whether they will go back and teach the history and show them the importance of like studying and fighting for your nation. I don't know what, guys, this thing will be done by the government, or they just continue like making the history to be forgotten, making the things now try to slide, and not igniting the values of what it means or what it is for going to war and fight for your nation. So guys, with this and many more, we'll come back, and kindly subscribe, like and share, and thank you so much.